guys, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you here. I am back home in Texas, fresh off my first BFL co-angler event that happened in Oklahoma last weekend. It was on Broken Bow Lake. It was one of the most beautiful lakes I've been on. It was absolutely incredible. It was a great event. I had a lot of fun. I am also fresh off an injury. I hurt my shoulder about 2 weeks ago. It's still on the mend, so I had to take real good care during this event to not overdo it, not hurt it further, you know. Overall, it was an incredible event. I can't wait to share with you just what went down. I have a couple clips that I had on my GoPro. Got a few fish catches on camera, which is always a good time. I only have so much battery power, you know, and so I don't have it running constantly. So to catch a few fish while the camera was running is always a good time. I caught a limit and then some. My boater and I had a day. We caught over 50 fish between the two of us, just reeling them in. It was awesome. It was so much fun. I learned a lot. I got to see a lot. I got to pick my boater's brain a little bit. Overall, a super fun time. So, without further ado, let's talk a little bit more about what exactly went down in this tournament. Takeoff was at 6 a.m., so I met up with my boater, Michael Ferguson, at 4:30 in the morning just to make sure we had plenty of time to get there and get unloaded and be ready for a 6 a.m. takeoff. We were boat number 78 out of 115, taking off in the fourth flight. We made a short run before stopping at our first fishing spot of the day. The water was clearer and colder than the water I had been fishing last weekend in Texas, and so I decided to slow roll a spinnerbait. And on my second cast, I was rewarded with a bite. It was a little spotted bass, and boy was I happy to see him. Before long, my boater got on him, and the action really didn't slow down from that point on. In no time at all, my boater caught 3 fish, and he had a spot, a largemouth, and a smallmouth bass. I was so excited because I've never caught a smallmouth, and I've always wanted to, and I figured if we were in the area, maybe this was the time for me to do it, and so I really focused up and really tried to go find a smallmouth. After that first fish that morning, I switched from my spinnerbait to a drop shot just because the water depth we were in was a lot deeper than I initially thought, and I really wanted to get a little further in the water column than I was able to slow roll that spinnerbait. But anytime we got close to the shore and I thought I could make the spinnerbait work, I absolutely would try. Before 8 a.m., both my boater and I had our limits, and then my boater decided it was time to make a move. We tried our hand at flipping bushes for a little while. Broken Bow had seen a little bit of rain, and the water level had risen. I don't have many opportunities to practice flipping personally, and so it's not my strong suit, but I really took this opportunity to give it my best shot. But having said that, I also kept all of my flips very conservative because I didn't want to be the co-angler who got stuck in the tree every 3 seconds. After a while, we made another move and I went back to drop shotting off the back of the boat. The drop shot is something I still feel like I'm learning, but I got a lot of good practice this day. I really got to distinguish the feeling of a bite from the feeling of the weight coming through grass or the weight coming along the rocks on the bottom of the lake. It was a really great experiment to try to see all the differences in bottom texture and composure and things like that. I just got stuck up in the grass again. Thank you.
There you go.
My boater was Michael Ferguson. He was an incredibly nice guy, so knowledgeable and so helpful to me while I was learning all about this body of water. By the end of the day, I had gone through most of my pack of robo-worms, but every fish I took to the scales was caught on a drop shot, and so I couldn't put it down. It was pretty windy most of the day, but by the early afternoon towards the end of the tournament, the wind got to be so bad that I had to increase my weight on my drop shot because I was losing the feeling of the bottom. I don't think my bait was able to actually reach the bottom anymore. I wasn't feeling the rocks, I wasn't feeling the grass, and so I increased my weight, and then I was able to feel the bottom again and catch a couple more fish before the end of the day. Ultimately, I never caught a big fish, but I caught a lot of fish, and to me, that's just as much fun as the alternative. I had a great day. I got to walk across the stage. I got to meet new people. I had a great time. Broken Bow treated me really well, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again soon. I'm so grateful that I got to compete in this event. I'm grateful for all the partners I have that made this event possible. Fish Tackle Marine supplies me with some of the best reels and tackle that there is. Powell Rods has some of the best rods on the market, in my opinion. They're the only ones I use. Spear point hooks really had every fish that I caught just absolutely stapled. They weren't getting off once they were hooked. The spear point hooks are just some of the best in my opinion. Robo worm, every fish I took to the scales that day was caught on a drop shot. Robo worm, just couldn't do it without these guys. They make everything possible for me. I had an absolute blast. I'm trying to figure out if there's another event I'll be able to compete in again this year. My hope was to do 2 BFLs, but we will have to see because the schedule's kind of changed. We've had some really terrible weather here at the start of the year that's had a couple events get canceled and rescheduled and things. So we're gonna have to see what I'm able to pull off later in the season. But up next for me right now is a kayak event, and it's not till July, so I have a little bit of time to sort some things out. It's gonna be hot, but it'll be fun. It's a lake that I've been to twice, and I know there's really good fish in that lake. I've caught numbers, not size there, so it'll be a good time either way. Getting to spend this much time on the water is just an absolute dream come true, and I love every minute of it. Thank all of you for tuning in and following along on this journey of mine, and I'll see you on the next one.